Morning, guys. Morning, Anon, TJ, Nick, what's up, my bro? Balas, just me, welcome, everyone. Antonio, welcome. How we all doing? Hope we all had a good day yesterday. Extremely nice gold sells yesterday. Afternoon, just pre-New York, was absolutely amazing. Alessandro, how you doing? Welcome. Yeah, just gonna wait a little bit as always, guys, and then we can get into some breaking down. We did have some news coming in just now, which was meant to be high impact on GJ, but you can see that, you know, didn't really move markets that much. It was pretty chilled move. Botrex, what's up? My number one supporter. Yeah, so just gonna wait a little bit. We're gonna get into stuff news-wise. Like I say, guys, this CPI hardly did anything. What could happen is these numbers could get factored in a little bit later. So maybe at London Open, I've seen that happen a couple of times before, where the news doesn't get priced in immediately and kind of stalls. But it was really good numbers. So what we can be expecting based on fundamentals is for GJ to be continuing bullish. You can see that would obviously play into trading into this massive range that we have over here. So hopefully throughout today we are able to find some of those potential entries. Sharif, good morning, welcome. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen on GJ. Gold as well, if we drop down to lower time frames, you can see that there's a lot of this is a very tricky range to trade into now. I'm actually not too interested in gold at this current price or anywhere within these two sort of parameters. What I'll be looking for is obviously a break above 1859 or a break below 1844. Those are my two sort of areas which I'll be looking for possible entries. Let's just go. We got you 10 minutes before London Open. Let's do a full breakdown on GJ. We can talk about what we will be possibly looking for. So obviously we're looking at our market structure to start off with. Our market structure on the weekly is still bullish. It isn't Wednesday afternoon yet, but even if it was, we would still take into consideration that weekly candle, which is bullish, but we are still looking at the previous weekly candle, which closed bullish. So our market structure is bullish. You can see what we've also done, which makes me start to think that, okay, there's a good chance that we are going to continue bullish, is we've created our bottom wick on the weekly, and now we can maybe come and fill this weekly wick, which we created last week. So that was with that strong bearish push you can see here on the 4 hour. That was a strong bearish push, as well as, you know, this large amount of range on the lower time frames, these areas over here. So that was on Friday. So obviously now we're going to go to a daily time frame. Still bullish on market structure. High created by this point over here was never exceeded. You can see that we haven't created a new high yet, making this our transitional point of market structure, and I don't see us exceeding that for quite a while. If we're going to be looking at more recent price action on the daily time frame, you can see we have now formed support at a previous level of daily support. So we know daily and weekly support is very strong levels. So if we're respecting those support levels, forming support, you can also see, let's look at our candle formations. This candle respected the low of the previous candle. It also did respect the high of the previous candle, but now this new daily candle, so today's daily candle has already gone and broken yesterday's daily candle high. Those are all candle formations which indicate a lack of seller's pressure and an increase of buyer's pressure. So again, this is all playing into those possible buys which you're looking at, as well as obviously maintaining that daily support level. Market structure being bullish too. We look on the 4 hour time frame. This is where we can obviously start marking out some zones and looking for areas to possibly take some trades. I would say that if we're going to be looking at support levels, this is the support level I would be interested in marking out. You can see we obviously do have this 4 hour support level up here, but you can see we have a long rejection wick just to the left of that. So be careful of that. We are obviously trying to form some 4 hour levels of resistance at this previous level of 4 hour resistance, but this candle has also still got 2 hours to close, so we can't say it's support, we can't say it's resistance until it's actually closed. Market structure on the 4 hour, very important to remember that it did maintain the bullish market structure. This was our high. We look for the 2 or more candle pullback. That only came down here. You can see that these are all pauses, what we call pauses. So this can't be what created the high. You need 2 or more candles to identify that point. So that's your 2 or more candle pullback. So for now, bullish in market structure, we will only be bearish below this point over here. Again, So at the moment we are 3v0 in bullish market structure. If we now drop down to low time frames, this is where we can start looking for the zones that we actually are looking to execute. We can fine tune our zones as well. So you can see this is cutting through some candle bodies. We don't want to see that. We want to mark it right up at the top. And again, that you can see we are currently respecting this resistance level based on the 30-minute time frame. But if we break above it, clean candles to the left. We love to trade into clean candles, clean trading range. This is that strong 4-hour drop. That strong. This is that weekly wick which we are left with. So hopefully, if we do get up into these sorts of levels, we are able to take some trades at those levels. If we're going to be looking for sells, obviously it is going to be counter trend. We are also bullish in market structure on the daily. Very important to remember. This was our high. Yeah, this is still classified as our high, and this is the point which created the high. We will only be bearish below this point, which obviously then plays into taking the sells into this level, because then we will have another time frame which is bearish in market structure, and then sells are obviously more probable to play out. Buying my advanced course right now. Come on board, Botrex. I think you're joking with me, but we'll be more than happy to have you this side. If we're going to be looking at areas we can come up to, I would certainly say throughout the day, if we are going to be breaking into this 156.862 level, we can certainly get up to maybe 157.200. I'd say we have range until we get to a point of a possible key level where we could react at, and then otherwise I'd be expecting us maybe by the end of the week to be up at 157 if we do continue with this bullish momentum. Obviously, like I said, when you have such a strong drop like this, and you can see this trading range is over 60 pips, it's going to be very hard to correct that in one move. What we'd rather do is get entries as we start pushing out, because it's not very unlikely, unless we have very, very strong volume or a very strong fundamental sort of impact on the market, that's just going to push us and correct this whole move down. So I'm going to be looking for buys above 156.862. I want to see a candle close above that level, and then I'll be obviously very interested in taking buys. We are currently, you can see we are trending bullish. Our daily candle is also currently strong bullish, so we are trending bullish. If we're going to be looking for sells, obviously now we want to fine tune the selling zone. I do see clean candles to the left here. It's about 23 pips worth of range. So obviously this is a valid trading range to trade into. You can see if we get a candle close below this level, we have clean range down to about this 156.191 level. Again, counter trend though. Right now, all our time frames are telling us one thing: buys. We are 4v0 bullish. Way too broke for that. Not everyone is driving E-class. Save up, save up. And then obviously if we're going to be looking for those continuation sells, we will get that market structural flip at the 155.971 level. So if we do get a 30-minute candle close below here, and again, why that plays into why sells could be very probable at that level, though it's very far away. This is where we will flip market structure. Then we also have the confluence of the clean candles to the left. So then what you're looking for is obviously your entry sort of points, which is going to be based on your candle closes or however you look at taking entry. So let's just go with our potential. 156.862. We can say very risky sells. Sounds, and the reason these are risky, guys, is obviously because of that trend. Just gonna respond to a message. 2 seconds, guys. Yeah, so 3 minutes till London Open. Obviously, yeah, very, very clean idea of what we want to do. And again, that plays into your trading plan, guys. You always want to, before getting to the chart, I had this marked up before, but I just want to show you guys what my thought process was. Every time before you take on your session or have your time to trade, you always want to have a very clear idea of what you want to do. So for me, I know for a fact I will not be taking a trade in this range unless what we do is come down to this level in one clean move and then start moving back up. So I have a condition on that. I need clean candles to the left. I need support to form at the bottom of this range, and then we can retest the top of the range. That's my one condition on taking buys in this range or taking any trade in this range. I will most certainly not be taking any sells within this range. And then I also know that I'm only interested currently in taking trades above this level and slightly interested in taking sells below 156.427, but again, counter trend. And you know, I'm not so much into that counter trend trading. So yeah, buys I think are going to be looking a lot more probable than our sells. Then we also obviously know, well, I know exactly what I want to see when it comes to candle formations. I want to see candles closing above this level as opposed to wicking up. You can see here, if you try to take an entry based on this impulse, you would have been, you know, down at this level. So if you had a technical stop loss, you would have been stopped out if you were taking buys based on the impulse there. That's why it's just so much safer to take buys based on a candle close, even sells. Just taking trades based on candle closes. So important. And if all that means is sometimes you're going to miss a trade every now and again, it's fine. But remember, always missing a trade is always way better than losing a trade. I miss trades very, very often, but it's fine. Because as long as you have the mentality of you know you'll be able to get the move you want somewhere along the line, then you won't be stressed about it at all. Let's just say for now that this is a no trade range. Hey Non, I see you typed in chat earlier, but I do want to hear some some more of your trading stories, please. Especially while we wait for these candle closes. You hear, okay. Tell me about some of the some of your trading horror stories. We're looking for DJ buy. You know what? I would normally say I am looking for a DJ buy and there's no we in trading, but yeah, we are looking for a DJ buy. Gonna use a bigger lot. Just make sure it's not too big. You've had too many. When I was paying a rent then, it was yeah. But I'm back home with my parents. Yeah, to be honest, when like you start paying bills and expenses with trading money, then I think that's when the risk management really does start to come into play. Well, you would hope so, because you have a lot more on the line. So got more money to blow. Don't think you should look at it that way. Okay, we got London Open coming in. Not a great pre-London close. You can see we did close weak bullish, obviously indicating that there is a little bit of buyers pressure in the market. You ever go to the casino? Yeah, I've been to the casino a couple of times. I'm not a huge gambler. I had a very bad experience, like, I don't know, maybe it was 4 years ago. Maybe not that long ago. And shit was never the same again. Also, going to the casino in South Africa probably isn't The same as like properly going to a proper casino. What happened now is just what happened was I was up like decently, probably like 4 times. It was very small money, to be honest with you. It was up decently, like 4 times, 5 times what I'd taken, and then started getting some confidence, so went to the bigger minimum spend tables, and it was all on roulette, which is obviously all 50-50, not even 50-50 because you have the green one. So it's like your percentage of winning is not even 50%, or chance of winning, sorry, should I say. And then went to the, as I built that up, went to the higher minimum spend tables and started putting in like much bigger sorts of bets, and that just sent me, because as soon as you gain confidence, a casino will humble you. And it'll tell you why people jump off bridges and stuff like that with that sort of stuff. We've all been there, we certainly have. Yeah, similar to swing trading. Well, I'd actually say more similar to binary options. Binary options is most definitely gambling. That is, again, you put your money in, you know exactly what you put in. If it doesn't work out, you lose that exact amount, so there's no risk management involved. And what if you win, you double it. You're considering to do some simulation sessions maybe on Sunday. I would actually be keen to do simulation sessions. I haven't updated my simulation software, SoftFX, in quite a while and haven't actually used it in ages. So I'll need to refresh myself on how to use that and then do it. But I don't know if it will be this weekend. That'll take a while. It might be next weekend. So yeah, that's a nice idea though. Those simulation sessions. I'm looking to impulse buy GJ. It is risky, but at this point we do have a stop loss level, I suppose, which isn't, you know, my impulse entry on GJ, if I were to take one, would probably be at this 156.868 level. I'm still contemplating. We don't really seem to have much volume at the moment. Have you ever blown an account? Never blown an account. Very lucky to say, but the reason for that is it's very easy to blow small accounts, and I never started with a really small account. Like, it's very easy as a beginner to blow like a $100, $200 account, and I never started with $100 or $200. It's a lot harder to blow like a few thousand. Yeah, GJ the whole of yesterday evening was very, very choppy in price action. I need big funds so I can use big lot sizes. No, buddy. We've spoken about that. That's not how it works. If you're struggling now on the small account with the small lot sizes, how is all of a sudden having a lot of money and then using big lot sizes, how is that going to help? It's not all of a sudden it doesn't wave a magical wand and then sort it out. Check gold. You can see gold here. You know, these are my exact levels. If gold is going to continue coming back down, I think that, yeah, I'm not really interested in gold today at the moment. This is not the sort of market conditions I like to trade. What I like to trade is something a bit more clear and concise. You can see GJ is probably going to provide us with that. Like I said, at the moment we are creating the higher lows all the time, constantly. If you drop down to the 5 minutes, you can see we are shifting up. So that's obviously based on low time frames looking quite nice. Now we need to see the confirmations on the higher time frames to make sure that, you know, the confirmations are strong enough. Like we always talk about, lower time frames, lower confirmations, higher time frames, higher confirmations. if we could maybe get a proper 4-hour candle close above this level as well, so this is closing in an hour and 53 minutes, then we definitely could see ourselves continuing and correcting that very strong bearish push which we had on Friday evening, very late on Friday evening. And based on the 1-hour time frame, you can also see this current candle, which is just open, so our London open candle has had very, very weak volume. More safe time to trade 4 hour. 4 hours is an extremely safe time frame to trade, and one of the highest confirmation time frames that you don't miss entries and don't have to hold too much drawdown type thing, and you can still manage risk on. Once you start basing trades on the much higher time frames, your stop losses become a lot bigger, because obviously our technical stop loss level is always below the current candle or the previous candle of the time frame which we take the entry on. So now let's say we're taking an entry based on the 4-hour time frame at the break of this high. Our stop loss level by technicals will be under that 4-hour candle. So what that does is it gives us a 12 pip stop loss. So obviously that's not too big, but if we're gonna, let's say, base it on the daily, so this is a setup on the daily that I like to see on the lower time frames, which is when we create a high, come back down to a previous level of support. So you can see we did that, respected the low of the previous daily candle, and formed the support, so we actually closed our daily candle. This is a setup I love to see on the 30-minute or the 1 hour, and what I'll do is I'll take an entry based on this daily candle, based on the breaking the previous candle high, because you can see we wicked down, broke the previous candle high, we got clean candles to left, retest this high. So the only problem with doing that in this situation is it's a daily time frame. So if we're talking technicals for stop loss levels, my stop loss would be under the current candle. That's going to be a 30, roughly, let's call it a 40 pip stop loss. So if we were to see this exact setup, let's say on the 30-minute time frame, our stop loss is maybe going to be 12, 13 pips. So yeah, the higher time frame, obviously the higher the confirmation, but also the bigger the stop loss. And that's why it's very important to look for entries on the lower time frames. And that's why the 30-minute is such an influential and important time frame to be looking at. Low-key traders aren't valid if they're not trading live. That is something I do completely agree with. It's very, very easy to call out trades after they've happened and, you know, trade like that, which is, again, 90% of traders do that. But you'll see when people are able to trade live and take losses live. I think we spoke about it yesterday. Someone like Daniel Savage is very unable to accept loss. And you can see when he takes a loss, then he, you know, 2 days ago he deleted his VOD because he took a loss on stream. Now, I don't know if that says anything positive about anyone, but that certainly does tell us that he can't accept loss, you know. It's impossible to win all the time, you know, so. Terrible volume. Let me check out that for you, Balas. You've sent this is through the Telegram, this is one of the members. You are looking for buys about the same level as me, clean candles to the left, perfect, no trade range. That is also absolutely perfect. I'm glad that you've identified that. Too choppy this price action, so no point. Risky sells below 156.4, also perfect. And then we do have the clean candles below this level as well. But I would say that it's going to be much safer to take sells based on this 156 level break, because obviously then we'll have our structural transition and it could be it is going to be a lot more range. So very, very nice chart. Also important to remember our market structure is currently bullish. So take that into consideration. Then I see that you also have put a gold chart in here. Sorry. Yeah, this is a gold chart. Potential buys above 1859. Perfect, exactly what I'm looking at. No trade range. Also exactly what I have this marked out as, and potential sales below 1845. Also perfect. So this is, you know, some really, really good chart marking out. You know exactly what you want to see throughout the day. You know that if price hangs around in between this level, you're not going to be interested in taking a trade. and you know exactly what you want to see here. You want to probably see a candle close below this 1845 level or above this 1859 level. And that is exactly what you want to see, and you've marked it out before you've even started trading. So this is absolutely perfect. Really, really nice charts. If anyone else does have charts, please do send them into the Telegram. It does give me an opportunity to give you a little bit of feedback. It doesn't have to be, again guys, the pairs that I trade. If you have a different pair that you trade or don't trade GJ or gold, send whatever chart in the Telegram and I'll take a look at it and tell you exactly what I think. We are coming up now, so we could see that delayed volume. Yep, no problem, no problem. Very, very nice. Gold's also trying to push. We just need to get out of this range on gold, more or less. Shocking price action. GJ's not looking too bad. Obviously, you can see here, if we do get this 30-minute candle close, that plays into seeing that further continuation, because that is our resistance, turn to support. So that's like your break and retest, a mini break and retest, obviously, because we're not in clear range, but what it tells us is that we are still on the lower time frames, forming higher lows constantly, or higher highs, should I say, and then continuing this uptrending sort of market. So hopefully we get this bullish continuation. Impulse entries are obviously going to be tempting, maybe above this 156.868 level. Just going to be waiting for now, guys. Your February results are very motivating. Thank you. I appreciate that. It has been an amazing month. Taken, I think I counted yesterday, it's about 15 or 16 trades. Yeah, it's been the losses have been tiny. I've really this month worked on letting my wins really extend, maximizing profits for sure, and just focusing on that risk management and only taking setups that I feel very confident in. I've been making sure that I haven't been, taking risky setups or anything like that. So yeah, I do appreciate that, Belas. If anyone does want to see my February results, go onto the Instagram. It is linked in the description. I think that the story should still be up. It is the current story that I have posted there. There's two, it's the second one. It shows the results from Feb. Do you impulse often? Not at all, to be honest with you. I like to wait for the candle close. Sometimes I will take impulses. Just depends. Again, my risk is always dependent on how I'm doing during the month. So at this point, it's been as we just spoke about, a very good month. So might be a bit more tempted into taking maybe an impulse entry above this 156.868 level, just based on the fact that now we have a stop loss level which isn't ridiculously big, and we can also then just take the trade based on hopefully some volume coming through. And breaking through a level of resistance. Just need to see. This is going to be our 10-pip mark around here. So stop loss level is going to be below this candle. And then obviously we're just going to try see if price can go. So this is perfect. If you are in the position, it should look something like this. It's about an 11 pip stop loss, quite tight. Well, not hugely, but again, got to manage risk. if I do close half of my position, guys, I will be letting you know. You can kind of see where I am planning on closing half. If the price comes down to these sorts of levels, I don't want to see this 50-minute candle breaking its own low, and I also don't want to see this 30-minute candle flipping bearish again. So at both of those price points will I be closing half of my position. Took a bit smaller risk on this one, took a 15 instead of a 20 lot, but it's fine. Please. Sorry. Can actually place this maybe below this 5-minute candle. Was your trade impulse now? Yeah, this was most definitely impulse entry. Just thinking that the obviously trading with the overall daily trend, market structures on our side, hoping to get some London volume coming in, and the stop loss level is not too big at all. It's not a ridiculously big stop loss, so again, more than happy to be able to manage this. If things do start going against me, I'll obviously be closing half of my position at certain price points. But yeah, yes, just wait and see. Nothing else we can really do. Once you're in the trade, you're in the trade. Just got to sit back, manage, and trust the analysis. You're hoping for a candle close, and that's perfectly fine. If you want to wait for the candle close and you're not comfortable taking the impulse, that's no problem at all. You know, that's a much safer option. And probably the much more sensible option as well. So Anon, you wait for that candle close. Sorry. When will you put your stop loss to break even? Probably around 8-9 pips, maybe 10 pips. Just going to see how it goes. Want to just see if there's going to be, if we start coming towards, because we are coming towards the end of this 30-minute candle, then on the new 30-minute candle, obviously I'll be expecting a little bit of a wick down. So might just wait for that. Otherwise, yeah. When I come to Cape Town, I'll visit you, bro. No problem, mate. No problem. Come to Cape Town. I don't know why this has come down so much. My entry was 871. If you haven't already, guys, while we wait for this to play out, please do leave a like on the stream. Sub if you aren't subbed as well. It all helps a lot, and yeah, I would really appreciate that. And let's hope for the best that this does work out. Would be nice if we could break this previous 5-minute candle high. There's that volume. Okay, there's 10 pips, so I'm probably just going to play it safe. It was a risky trade, so I've just secured 90% there, guys. And I'm moving my stop loss to break even. So if anyone did take that trade, congratulations. You should... let's see... yeah, so if anyone did take that trade, well done. That should have been 10 pips roughly. It was taken on the break of the previous 30-minute candle high. Impulse entry based on London volume and hoping for that volume to really push through at the later half of the candle. We also had market structure on our side. So your stop loss should at this point be at break even. You should also have secured some profits. These sorts of entries, the reason that I secure profits, sometimes I have, or recently I have been letting my trades run. But the reason why I secured profits on this trade is obviously it was a much higher risk trade. It was an impulse trade, which means at some point we are probably going to come back down and retest the entry point. So that is, you know, I didn't want to be so far up in profits and then come back down. So, you know, win-wise, definitely one of my smaller wins of the month. It was about, yeah, just over £700. So nothing special, just straightforward. Discuss the whole entry before. Again, trade taken on stream, so I hope that you guys did manage to catch that, or any of you who were looking at that idea. I will post that on the Instagram as well. Let's just see how these 5-minute candles form. How long do you leave runners in? Until it hits my overall TP or gets stopped out. Just depends. Also, what I'll do is normally when I open a 20 lot, I'll close 18 of those lots and then let my runner run, and then I'll end up closing partials on my runners. So instead of having a 2 lot left in, I will close, let's say, one of those 2 lots once I go up to, let's say, 20 or 25 pips, and then my eventual position will just be left until it either hits the overall TP, which I'm looking at long term, or comes back down to my entry. Either or. But again, guys, well done if anyone took this. Did anyone in the chat take this? Just need to move this. It's in the way. Love your analysis. Thank you, Antonio. I appreciate that. Antonio, sorry, I wanted to ask, are you Tony on the Telegram group? Sorry, it could be the wrong person, and I apologize if you're not Tony. But there's a Tony in the Telegram group, which I'm thinking could be you. Well, this is just some extra... okay, that is you. Great. I thought it was, but I just wanted to double check. Getting a nice extra bit of push here. So this is all just, you know, extras on the runner, guys. Definitely nothing Nothing too serious unless you've managed to hold that original position and didn't secure profits and are going to try to hold this a little bit longer. Just be aware that this 30-minute candle does close in 2 minutes time, and what could end up happening is we get the close above this level, we get the wick down, and then the continuation. Another option which you could be looking for if you are looking for possible buy continuations is now we're going to get a close above the resistance level. So this is the candle close above the resistance. Again, that's indication that we're not respecting it. So what you could want to see is a wick down and take some more entries based on the break of this candle high. Obviously, that is a bit riskier because you're buying at the highs. And what you also got to be thinking is if you did just take this impulse entry trade, do you want to then risk those profits? And what I would suggest doing in that situation is you lower your lot size for your second trade of the day if you are thinking of doing that. If you've taken profits from the market and are happy with the amount that you've made, don't be greedy about it, then you should just call it a day. Yeah, because I lowered risk and I obviously closed quite early. I closed at 10 pips, basically directly at 10 pips. I think I may be interested in taking another entry somewhere throughout the day, but yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see. I do want to see how this 30-minute candle closes. But Lars also took this trade really well done. Very, very nice. Coming back down towards entry here. If we're going to be looking at the fundamentals for the rest of the day, guys, we do have retail sales coming in for any dollar-related pair. So if you are trading a dollar-related pair, please do be aware of that. Gold might move quite a lot later. Numbers that they're predicting is obviously going to be quite different to the previous numbers. So yeah, something to look at. That is at 3:30, so half an hour after London Open. Sorry, half an hour after New York Open, you will see that coming in. We also have FOMC meeting minutes way later on this evening. So yeah, if you are still trading in those times, be aware of that. I will most definitely not be. Then let's look at possible news tomorrow. We obviously have unemployment claims coming in on the US dollar. We all know that historically does move price quite a lot. It is quite a big fundamental event. They are also predicting some less unemployment claims to come in than previously. So that's obviously going to be good for the dollar if less people are claiming for unemployment. So if these forecasts are correct, we can expect the dollar to maybe gain some more value. We know the dollar has been strong, same as the pound over the last since yesterday, since they retracted the troops from Russia, because obviously a lot of people had taken money out of gold then and put it back into the dollar, because it's now a much safer option now that there isn't the threat of an imminent war. So that's just something to look at fundamentally. And then we have Friday's news, again some more medium impact US dollar news, some home sales, and nothing too serious. I wouldn't say none of these are red folders. We also have some retail sales coming in on the pound, so also something just to look at. Okay, so what I'm seeing here on GJ, guys, is now we have got our candle close above the level we wanted to. We aren't respecting this resistance anymore, so we've more or less broken out of this sort of minor consolidation which we had. Now there's obviously a couple options which can happen here. What we might do is we've got a little wick down, but we probably want a proper retest of the zone we've just broken through, proper retest of this resistance. and then to break this candle high, and then you can obviously see some possible continuations further up. We have the clean trading range to the left, we have the clean candles, definitely something to look at. So yeah, it's going to be important to remember that if you are going to be taking more entries based on this sort of setup, so let's say you missed the first setup and now you want to take this setup, then there could be interesting. Yeah, why would they pull from gold? Gold and oil skyrocket during wars. Well, that's exactly it. Now that there's no threat of war, they're putting all their money back into the dollar. Why do you think that gold pumped when there was the threat of imminent war? Because, like you say, everyone puts their money in gold when wars are going to happen. Now, yesterday there was news saying that the troops had been pulled out of Russia and there isn't the threat of war. Everyone's taking their money out of gold because obviously it's not going to keep on pumping because the war threat is now slowly diminishing and lessening. So everyone's putting their money back into the dollar. If that makes sense. So the economic strength of the dollar is going to improve because, you know, there's a lot less threat of the war. If the troops are still there and if the situation was worsening currently as we speak today, then again, people would be taking all of their money and putting it into those sorts of things which do seem to boom during things like a war, such as oil and gold. Should the dollar pairs be all bullish? Well, they certainly should be more bullish than they were a couple of days ago. You can see if we go to, I think we did check out so GU actually maintained bearish, but that's because what happened was obviously the UK is involved in this war as well. And what ended up happening was when that news came out, it was good news for both currencies. The pound obviously gained strength. We saw the strong push yesterday, and also the dollar gained strength too. So now if you have two currencies both gaining strength, obviously what you want to look at is which one is going to be gaining the most strength, and a good way to gauge that is obviously who was more involved in that sort of situation. And you can see based on this, when was it? The 15th, yeah. So this started coming down yesterday. So the pound was obviously stronger. The dollar was obviously stronger. And then now the pound is gaining a little bit more strength. So we should be expecting dollar pairs to start going bullish, yeah. Go back to GJ. Still do have a runner left in this position, by the way, guys, which is great. What's up, Zeems? How are you doing, my boy? I actually saw your message yesterday, Zeems, about it being 45 minutes away. Yeah, I'm doing great, thanks. Great, thanks. Can't complain. Took a nice took a nice trade on stream this morning. GJ impulse entries. Now we definitely could see GJ continue more bullish. If you are planning on taking second entries, maybe just either lower that risk, guys. Your new sort of level for your stop loss is obviously going to be, technical level is going to be under this 30-minute candle. So definitely something to look at. I'm not going to add a new position. There's no need for it. I'm just going to let my runner do its thing. The current runner size that I have in is also a 2 lot at the moment. So just going to see how far I can take that. But yeah, really nice move on GJ. If you also did miss the trade, guys, and weren't in the stream when we took the trade, you can always go back and take a look. Basically, based on the market structure, the candle setups we were getting, this how this candle closed weak bearish, this candle wick down, giving us a stop loss level which wasn't ridiculously big. That also gave me a lot of confidence in taking the impulse entry, because I knew that, okay, if worst comes to worst in this position, the most I can lose is 11 pips worth. And obviously I knew that I could manage the trade pretty well based on the 50-minute. That alone gave us the first level to manage it, and then the 30-minute candle flip gave us the second area to manage it. So that would have already cut my loss enormously. So yeah, very, very important. My runner is working. Yep, my runner is going at it as well right now. Let's hope if we can get to, I'd say, 20 pips. 20 pips will be nice. We'll probably secure another lot at 20 pips. So let's just see how far we can take this thing. Anon is in this trade. Stop loss at current candle bottom wick. Perfect. You want your stop loss at this level. Sorry, let me just set this up properly. You want your stop loss at this level, and you obviously want to be looking on the low time frames as to where you could manage this trade. I'd possibly say that if this 5-minute candle, because there's not too many places to manage this trade, but if this 5-minute candle came down and broke its own low, I'd probably close half. If I had taken a new position, which I didn't. But other than that, yeah, your stop loss needs to be at the low of this 30-minute candle, and you know, all the best. You waited for your candle close. Now let's see if it pays off. I'm sure it will. I do see us very bullish at the moment, and I see a great opportunity to continue. Let's put this. I think I'll try get, if my runner doesn't come back to break even, maybe try get about 30 pips out of the full position. So this is going to be 20 pips over here. And yeah, let's see if we can get to these sorts of levels. This way I'll be securing another percentage of my position, guys, at 20 pips. Nice to have actually had a London Open, which did provide us with some volume as well as like a reasonably easy entry. The recent London Opens have been shocking. So yeah. Okay, now you should probably be thinking about managing that risk a little bit. Exactly why guys, if you obviously did take a second position based on this candle high, you needed to lower your risk. You don't want to be risking all the profits you just made if you had taken that original position. So yeah, very, very happy at the moment based on how this candle is looking that I didn't take another entry. But don't get worried if you obviously do see price starting to come down. You just need to be confident enough in yourself to manage that risk. Don't try and hold the full position. Yeah, my runner was up pretty nicely. Obviously now it's not as good, but let me just check the date for that. Okay guys, so by the way, I did chat about it last week. The boot camp I think is going to be on this weekend here, the 4th and the 5th of March. So if you guys are, again, it will be for members only. If you guys are interested, sorry, the 5th and the 6th. I think it's going to be, I'm going to try to do it all at once on the 5th. If you guys are interested in that boot camp, obviously you do need to be a member. The prices, like I said, will be changing for the course to allow more people to obviously be able to be part of that boot camp. So if you are interested, pop me a message and we can chat about it. Probably going to wait about another 5 or so minutes, guys. I do want to see how this candle plays out. It doesn't look like we're getting the best 50-minute candle close. There is obviously still a minute and a bit left. If it goes back up, must I put half back in? Completely up to you. I can't tell you that you must do anything. How I go about that sort of stuff is very, like, I do it based on how comfortable I feel. You need to feel comfortable in your own thing. You know, this isn't really, I'm not trying to be giving signals here or anything like that. So if you take this trade, obviously you take it by your own risk, and you need to understand that if you're closing parts of your position, you need to know where you should be adding parts of your position back. If you even want to add parts of your position back. Yeah, gold has been pretty useless. Let's check up on Bitcoin. We haven't checked Bitcoin in a while. Let's see what we have here. I think I've been using Bitstamp. So we're still sitting around that 44,000 level based on the higher time frames. Got that retest of this resistance level, formed some support on that level, so obviously there's your break and retest. We are coming back up to another resistance level though. It is nice to see though that this is kind of like a very bullish sort of setup that you see quite often. Obviously we created a high, came back down to retest the point that we broke, and now we've retested it. So now you'd obviously want to see a new high created and then continue that same overall trend. So obviously if you are looking at Bitcoin or are interested at all in Bitcoin, that is how I would certainly be looking at it. We have got resistance that we're on at the moment, daily resistance. But if we are going to just continue with that trend, I do definitely see us coming up to maybe 47,000 soon. Roughly, based on the weekly. Yeah, we're coming up to fill this weekly wick. And then again, if you get a weekly candle close above this weekly resistance, then that's when we're going to be looking to test the much higher levels. Because once we clear this wick, that's going to be us up to our next resistance level over here. And then we obviously have the clean range up to the sort of 51,000 levels. Freeform supports on this level on gold. That's going to be great, because then that's our break and retest completed. So this was our resistance. You can see we broke that, came back down, we're forming some support on that level, and then maybe we can retest this high. We're just obviously going to have to see. There's a lot of fundamentals playing with gold at the moment, so definitely something to take into consideration. Also, we have maintained a lot of our bullish market structure on gold. Obviously this was our high based on the 4 hour. This was the point which created the high. These are all one candle sort of pauses. So here's your first 2 or more. We were only going to be bearish below this point. So yeah, maybe we can start moving back up on gold. Just got to play it as you see it though. I mean, it's definitely not the best 50-minute candle close you'd want to see on GJ. So that is something to look at. If you did take the second entry, if you like me and just have your runner in, then it's fine. You know, just let GJ do what GJ does. If it comes back to break even, you know, you're only losing out on 20 or even it could be 10% of what you had originally had on the table. So that's the whole point of a runner. 90% of the time, a runner does get stopped out at break even. But the point is that you have secured profits, and you've secured at least, I would say, a healthy 80-90% of that position. So yeah, I think that's probably going to be me for the morning, guys. Congratulations to anyone who did take this trade as well on that we took earlier. Really nice GJ buys. If you didn't take the trade or weren't here in the stream, go back and you can see the whole idea behind it, mainly based on the 30-minute time frame and London Open as well as market structure. I will be looking for possibly this to happen on GJ where we make a nice strong push, come back down, and then retest the highs. I think that is going to be a really nice opportunity to get some buys at some really good positions. But just be careful of exhaustion. If we do push too much, we are going to at some point come back down and retest previous levels of resistance. So I am only looking for buys at the moment on GJ, not looking in those pullback sells at all. Gold as well, buys above 1859.74 and looking for sells below 1844.61. Not very interested in this consolidation that we're stuck in at all. So please do be aware of that. I will be posting some stuff in the Telegram most probably later, or maybe just for the members on the website. So it's going to be one of those two in the members lounge. So I do appreciate all the support, guys. Please, again, if you haven't, before you go, leave a like on the stream and subscribe if you aren't subscribed. And I will see you guys all the exact same time tomorrow. And yeah, have a great rest of your day. Trade safely. Please remember to manage your risk. 1 to 2% maximum risk per trade, and 1 to 2 trades a day. Try trade 1 to 2 sessions and 1 to 2 pairs. The 1 to 2 rule. But yeah, thank you guys. Thanks Sharif, Flip, Nick, everyone who was in the chat. I do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Cheers.